guys, thanks for joining me again. So today we're going to take a look at the Hot Toys Movie Master Series Darth Vader. This is Darth Vader circa Empire Strikes Back, because there's a few different versions that are floating around now, and it seems that each one has gotten better than the last. So we're going to take a look at this one. Now I got to admit, as far as sci-fi goes, I'm more of a Star Trek fan than a Star Wars fan. And I'm more of an X-Files fan than a Star Trek fan, so I'm pretty distant from the Star Wars genre. However, I've been wanting to have at least one Star Wars figure in my entire collection of movie and TV-related characters. And what better character from the Star Wars series to have than Darth Vader? Now it's debatable. Some might say Luke, some might say Yoda, and maybe some others, but I really like the way Darth Vader looks. Let's take a look at this thing. All right, so one of the reasons that I bought this version versus some of its predecessors is because of the light-up features on the chest and because of the light-up saber. Some of the previous ones didn't include those features. So, pretty standard on the box. Damaged corner. I'm not big on this. There's another one there. Some of you collectors would gasp at receiving a box in this condition because for some reason it seems that Sideshow has a habit of sending their figures in just the Hot Toys shipper box and not putting a sort of master shipper box above that, because some people even collect that outer brown cardboard box. But the danger of just shipping it with that Hot Toys brown box is that it has the potential to damage the corners of the actual figure box, which has happened here. So even a dent there. Yeah, so you really got to pay attention when you're ordering figures from Sideshow. Some of the other companies that I use, like Big Bad Toys, they don't do that. They protect their figures in bubble wrap. They understand that some collectors are very specific about preserving those boxes. So a nice little insert here, a little cover. So one of the things I found interesting is that the description indicated that there was 9 sets of hands, and looks like we have all of those right here. Crack that open. Yeah, so this one's actually holding the lightsaber, which seems to have the battery-operated feature built into it. So yeah, there's a small LED in there. You put the beam in there, and it makes the whole thing glow, it looks like. I might have to read the instructions on some of these illumination features for this figure. So you got quite a few options for the hands. Oh. Of course, you've got the choking hand, gotta have that. An extra holding hand, a pointing hand, probably ordering one of his stormtroopers to do some nasty deed. So there's that. It's really a bulky figure too, really heavy. A lot going on here. All right. So you've got, looks like 3 versions of the beam. Now 2 versions of the beam and then two lightsabers. One is a self-standing lightsaber. The other one, as I showed you, is permanently attached to the hand, but the beam goes into either one. Just snugly fits right in there. It has a small loop here, so good detailing on the lightsaber itself. No other moving features on it than that. The buttons don't move at all, but it's got some pretty good detail on it. And then of course you can use the moving light beam feature. I think this looks kind of corny, but it's to indicate that maybe the beam is in the process of being swung I personally don't like it, but I can see that you would want to protect this if you're handling it from smudges and of course from scratches, because as you put the LED light on, those features would show up. So you want to keep this nice and clean. All right, looks like you've got quite a few batteries. And I don't know if these are extra batteries or if the batteries have to be installed in each of the features. I imagine it's the latter, because otherwise there would be a chance of leaking battery acid. So I'll have to figure that out. And now the figure itself. Oh boy. Oh, I love that new figure smell. Okay, wow. Helmet snugly attaches on top. So here he is. As I said, he's quite a bulky and kind of heavy figure, but very nice. The stitching on the pants, on the sleeves, very appropriate. On the back, you've got the leather type material. On the front, it's plastic for the boots. The cape is a nice material. They've done their best, it looks like, to keep it from wrinkling, but I'm gonna have to steam some of it out on the bottom here, it looks like. But it's a nice rich material. It's got some good weight to it, but it moves as you would hope it would. It doesn't have a stiffness to it. So they went the extra mile, it looks like, in choosing the material. It's double layered, kind of like an off silk type material. Very nice. Now, one of the things that I didn't like, and this is going to take down the score a bit, is even though that top helmet piece is removable, you can't actually take a look at his face. One of the figures that came out previously did have that ability, but this one does not. And it kind of reminds me of the Sideshow re-release of the Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th figure, because with that figure, even though the face itself was sculpted, it was unfinished, and the mask was glued on. The hockey mask was glued on. So luckily, there was this guy that I found on Sideshow Freaks forum, and he was allowing people to mail him the head sculpt with the glued on mask, and he would remove the mask, paint the face, detail the mask a little bit, and send it back to you. And I forgot what I paid for that, but it came back beautiful. But it's something that should have been standard with the manufactured figure. This, yeah, I would rather have been able to remove this top section and see Darth Vader's face. I don't know why they stopped halfway. You could just see the back of the head, and that's it. So there's the figure itself, and we'll take another closer look at the features on that figure in a few minutes here. Nothing else there. We've got the instruction manual, which I will definitely need. And it looks like the rest of it is just the base, which I didn't realize until the last minute is also LED illuminated. Initially, I was thinking maybe I'll keep the figure and put the base on eBay and recoup some of the money I invested in the purchase here. But once I found out that it illuminated, I decided I'm going to keep it and incorporate it into the display of the figure. All right, so this is kind of confusing, so I'm going to stop here and read the instructions on the figure and assembling the base, and put it all together and get back to you in just a minute here. All right, we're back, and look at this figure light up. This is just amazing. The lightsaber looks fantastic. You got 3 control panels here, illuminated, flashing red lights on the chest piece. You've got green lights and a small red light on the side ones. I was quite involved getting the whole figure situated with the batteries. There's a small compartment here, small compartment here. On the back, there's a compartment that controls this display, and then there was, of course, the base, which required 3 AAA batteries that weren't included. So it was probably the most involved battery installation that I've ever done on a figure. And on the break, I actually had to crack open the headpiece because the lenses I noticed in the figure had popped out. So I had to like crack it open. It was glued, but I had to crack it open, and so you guys get to see what's underneath, which is Blinkman. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. They could have done the head sculpt on this, but they stopped. Maybe to save money. I don't know. Maybe they're going to come out with another figure later on. Maybe it's like the updates of the iPhone. They'll incrementally release new features. Even though technically this is a backtrack because the previous version of this figure did have the head sculpt. But I love it. Like I said, I'm going to keep the base because I like the light feature there. I'll probably hotwire it so that there's an exterior switch to all of the light up features, so there's just one switch needed for all of them. Because getting your finger in here, getting in there, and especially with the glove, because there's a rubberized cover to the glove that you need to flip up, and there's a switch underneath the glove to turn this feature on. That's just a little too involved. But aside from that, in working with the figure, I also discovered that there is a latch back here, or a loop. I can't see it with the there we go. It is. Got some light on the situation, and now you can actually see there's a latch right there, and I guess that hooks on right there. So you've got the lightsaber that hooks on to the side of the belt there. Or you could have the one that's situated here. Now let's see how this looks with the moving beam feature. So there's that. Yeah, you kind of use your imagination and imagine that it's swinging, but I just think it looks kind of corny. It actually reminds me of the old phasers that came with the Playmates action figures for Star Trek. The phasers looked like that, where they just had like a frozen beam shooting out of it, and I probably will never use this particular fixture. I prefer the other one here. Much better. So overall, I'm going to give this figure a I'm going to be tough on him. I'm going to give him an 8.25. And the only thing that really drags it down is that head sculpt. Yeah. Sorry, Hot Toys, but you shouldn't have just left the head as a Blinkman here. You should have sculpted it. I'm going to try to see if I could actually find a head sculpt on eBay so that I can replace that head. Maybe. I'll have to do some shaving or gluing or something, but I'll hopefully be able to upgrade this. Other than that, the detailing on the illumination, the flashing of the red lights is fantastic. Flashing of the lighting on the base. They didn't have to make the base illuminate. That was an extra step that I really appreciate. But yeah, 8.25. Stay tuned. I'm still waiting on my Ghostbusters Ecto 1. That'll be the granddaddy of all of my reviews. Probably be a long one. It'll have to be. Take it easy, folks. Just a quick post note here. So I dug this up. Apparently there's a pre-order going on right now on Sideshow Toys for this special edition of the Darth Vader, and it is a quarter scale figure, so it is not a 6 scale figure. I hate when they do this, but apparently it has a very detailed head sculpt, and it's estimated for arrival sometime between October and December of this year. Oh, Sideshow, why couldn't you have just done this head sculpt with the 6 scale figure? The world may never know. Anyway, see you guys next time.